So here's I talk about this wonderful Lister. So this is a 1983 car, is that right?
No, it's actually 1982. This
1982.
So
okay.
it's originally manufactured in 1982.
That'd be an HG. Would it came out the factory? Yeah.
It was the first of the HEs as well. So there are some strange anomalies on this in that it's got some of the pre-HE as well as the HE parts in it, like the water bottle.
Yep.
The floor pans are actually HE, pre-HE. So they were using the parts bit, I think, really was the story I've been told there.
Yes.
But it was converted in 1986 to a Lister.
So that's with Lawrence Pierce's company down in Surrey, is that right? WP Automotive.
It was WP Automotive, which I think Lawrence was running it, and Warren Pierce being his father, I believe, at the time then. So we've got the invoices, we've got the price list, we've got all the bits and bobs.
Wow.
Giving provenance as well there, and it's ended up a labour of love. It never intended to be that way, I have to say.
Okay. Interesting. When did you get the car then? So it started off in the 80s, had the Lister conversion. Was it one big conversion or was it done in stages, do you know?
It was done in two sections actually. This, so we see the invoices that there was the initial body kit, there was the lowering springs, and then it went back and they saved up a bit of money and they did more modifications to the engine there with wide throttle bodies, TT exhaust, things like that. So it sort of entered my life in about 2017, the end of.
Oh wow, quite recent, relatively, to the car's history. Okay.
So, yeah, and I think the easiest way to actually describe the condition was that it was a dodgy MOT failure.
Wow.
That was absolutely rotten to the core. As the extensive gallery of pictures that we've got, actually,
some of them
will sort of indicate how bad it really was. Main reason was because Lister, in their wisdom, there decided that the body kit needed to have absorbent foam.
Now that plagued later Jaguars as well, absorbent foam, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Sound deadening boxes, I think, isn't it?
Stop the vibration, etc.
Yes.
Unfortunately, all that did was actually then trap moisture in there, and then it's eaten away the bottom half of the car, which you can't tell until you start peeling back the layers, which is where Laszlo, my a very good friend and now business partner of the Classic Mechanic, enters the whole story.
Got it. So this is where we're getting the Classic Mechanic Hungary, I think, isn't it?
That's correct.
How did that story come about? Where did you form that?
So I realised quite quickly that I'd bought a wreck of a car. Luckily, I didn't spend too much money on it, but we met really because a friend of mine said there's a guy in Macclesfield. He wasn't in Hungary at the time then.
Yeah.
A guy in Macclesfield, I believe, is exceptionally good. He's just started a restoration garage. He used to be a restorer in Hungary. So I went round to see Laz. Laz confirmed all my worst nightmares about the car, and initially he said, "Can we just repair it and get this, in some kind of decent condition?" What I hadn't actually really appreciated at that time is that Laz is an OCD perfectionist in a good way.
Yes, terrible.
He doesn't just do patch up, mend and repairs, really. So as we started peeling back, we found more problems with it, and I then in the end said, well, look, we need
now
to
moving towards a full-blown restoration at this stage rather than just patch and repair. Okay.
Yeah, indeed.
Interesting.
So we very rapidly became good friends, me and Laz. He was just around the corner from me at the time there. About 2019, Laz and his wife and two daughters, he's got twins actually, now 10. Him and his lovely family decided they were going to go back to Hungary, which struck me with terror there because we hadn't finished my car completely at that point then.
Okay.
So I said, well, I would like to invest in your business. I've luckily got several businesses that enable me to actually
do that,
indulge myself in these kind of things.
Brilliant.
And we've run the business ever since 2019 over in Hungary, taking cars not just from the UK but from Germany as well in particular. We've got them over there, and specialising in XJS and E-types. That's our bread and butter, and Land Rovers. When we had Land Rovers, Series 1 Land Rovers as well. Excellent. XJS is our special favourite, actually, because of this.
Absolutely. So this one really is a sort of no expense spared project that you've really undertaken here. Obviously, it take a long time to go through everything that's been done here, but what's the key things? What are the sort of key stages you went through to get it to its fabulous condition?
So this is a labour of love. There is no logical rhyme or reason for me to spend the amount of money, even as the co-owner of the business. Yeah. I wasn't getting it for free there because Lars still has to make a living for his family.
Of course.
It's about 4,000 hours of work in this, because I said to Lars, maybe foolishly, what could you do if there was no cap to your budget?
And this is the guy who's got the OCD and the real attention to detail as well.
Probably, if not definitely, one of the best restorers in the world, because that's not something I'm saying, it's what other restorers are saying. They're sort of saying he's the restorer's restorer anyway. And Goodwood Revival was a bit of an eye-opener for us, because he came over to that show and was literally stunned at the reaction for the volume of his work. So what we've done on here is stripped absolutely the entire car.
Whole thing,
back to bare metal. I don't say nut and bolt, I actually say nut, bolt, washer.
Yeah.
Because Lars has stripped down every component, including things like the heater matrix.
Wow.
The starter motor has been into a gazillion pieces there. This has just been a jigsaw of immense proportions that have been either media blasted, it has been then zinked, it's either been anodized, been painted. So it's actually better than the car would have ever left the production line in Brown Lane there in Jaguar. So on the way, we've done a little bit of retro modding, not a great deal really. We've made the brakes better, safer, made the suspension adjustable, a little bit safer.
Okay. Yeah.
The legend who is Roger Bywater of AJ6 Engineering, he lives very close to where I live in Macclesfield. Roger's been a font of knowledge for Lars, always on the end of the phone, because Roger was one of the original designers.
Yes.
Most interestingly, Roger was one of the original performance consultants for Lister in 1985-86.
I didn't realise there's a connection between Roger and Lister back in the 80s. That's interesting.
Was indeed, yeah. So he's just a
mine of information.
Massive mine of information there that we tried. Somehow we need to try and get all the information out of Roger.
We do. There's one book that probably doesn't do justice, I'm sure.
Stuff there, so it's going to be difficult,
Yeah, excellent. Now I can tell the quality of detail, because sometimes where you have the aftermarket kits, I mean, there's obviously the Ardenne, Koenigsegg, a whole number of hyper transformations, but I think the quality of the body kit that's gone around this is quite superb, and I'll make sure we get some footage and some pictures of it, but the quality is exceptional. And what about these wheels as well? These look amazing.
These are the iconic Lister wheels, so I mean, I think we probably get as much attention about the body of the car as we do the wheels, actually. I mean, everything comes up and always nods a certain, well, I love the wheels there. So these are the Lister Copper Motives. Copper Motive, I believe, became Image wheels.
Okay, Image wheels.
We've Image wheels have been fantastic with us. They have actually created the new split wheels because we wanted to make them slightly bigger. So we wanted 17-inch, not 16s. So they've taken the original sensors but made brand new, bespoke to fit the space of the arches, which Lars did in a great deal of technical information that I passed on to them.
Yes.
So they've been involved anyway. So we've gone back to the original factory in a way to actually get them refurbished.
Fantastic. They certainly do set the car up very nicely indeed. And I think another thing that really draws the eye is actually the interior.
Yeah.
And I've got some photos where we've actually got the Lister embossing. How's that done? It looks amazing.
Well, I'm sorry, Lars, I'm going to have to actually share some of the information. he's told me before, under the threat of near death.
Oh dear.
So there are actually letters that have been laser cut out that then Lars uses to emboss. Now, how he actually does that, I don't know either, because he's
trade secret.
I'm not the I'm the voice behind the camera, I'm the front man.
Yeah.
I'm not the really gifted individual that
Lars is.
The door cars have to be remade because all door cars and XJSs are either wavy as the sea or they're completely rotted. And the door cars on this were exactly that.
Really rotted. It's very common.
So they're brand new.
get some footage of that. Yeah.
He's added the Lister in there. It wasn't part of the original car, but the Lister embossing on the car receipts is part of the original there as well. So we again, another little bit of a nod to how it should have been really at the time then. You know, not being Lister of the 80s there, but I don't think they really ever thought these cars would be here 40 odd years later.
No, probably not.
Not worth the amount of money that Listers actually are, you know, that's it.
Well, indeed, absolutely. And this one I think is a very useful one because I think it's the original 5.3, but it's got all of the AJ6 engineering enhancements on the hood, so that's similar to my XJ. So I think the wide throttle bodies, the revised air intakes, tuning trumpets, and the TT extractor exhaust, which makes an amazing sound. Sadly, we won't be able to demonstrate it in the hall, but it makes an amazing sound. Maybe we'll get some for your channel, but it looks superb. And I think the finish and quality of the nut and bolt restoration is really evidenced against the footage of the engine bay. Absolutely amazing quality. So
it is, and you know, we could have taken shortcuts, but we didn't.
No,
Lars doesn't do shortcuts.
No.
What he does is perfection, and he has a very subtle way of making me join him in this journey of perfection, because what I suggest to him is there a cheaper way there, and he said, well, there is, but you know, will you be able to sleep at night? And of course, that's the ultimate persuasion you need there, because yes, I probably wouldn't be. So you get to that certain point, and you know, cost doesn't become actually part of it. But the whole point of this was to actually then allow Laz, the artist, to actually then paint the best picture he possibly could without any restriction on budget, and that's been done. So it was never be sold. You know, never be sold. They've done it for me. I don't sell any of my cars.
It's beautiful. So interestingly, what have you got in the workshop at the moment? What's been coming through next?
Right. Well, we've obviously become relatively famous for Jaguar XJ-Ss now, and we're attracting them from all over the place. We've got Jaguar XJ-S Arden. So the German,
very rare.
Yeah, indeed. This is from it's a left-hand drive. German customer of ours called Stefan there. He saw us on social media, the internet, got in touch and said, I believe you're the only guys that can do this. So we've got that in the workshop at the moment. We've got a Jaguar XJ-S that's just come over from the UK. So that one is waiting for restoration. That's the first press car that was used in the NEC. So there's a bit of a story behind that one as well. We've also got a Jaguar XJ-S that was actually driven by Diana Rigg, or owned by Diana Rigg after the Avengers.
Okay.
So I would point out the Avengers, the later Avengers, early Avengers, not the later ones. There has been a bit of confusion about Marvel. So we're doing that car up for a lovely customer called Robert McAlpine. Robert, this car was his father's. It's his father's car, and this is again a labour of love. We're doing it in this sort of style and condition because he wants a memorial, you know. And that's the beauty is that the XJS owners that we meet at the moment they're not people who want to flip a car and make money out of it, because you're not going to do that.
Long-term commitment to the car.
It is. It's somebody who wants a long-term commitment to the car. That's you know, the nice part about it. You know, we're meeting lovely people with it as well. But we've also got my Jaguar XJ-S Lister Mark III wide body.
Wide body, that's quite different from this, isn't it?
It is indeed. I think you've seen some photos actually.
Yes, well,
feel free to share them there.
Yes, thank you.
That one we're going to bring to the Mark show here.
Excellent.
And then it's going to whisk its way over to Hungary at the same time. Then hopefully we're going to get Laz to come over as well.
That'd be good.
That show.
Meet the man, yeah.
He had the fear of flying there, so we may have to do the Mr. T on him. We'll have to give him a glass of milk away from Manchester. We'll work on that one. Because it's a long 2,500 mile round trip in a car.
Yes,
so,
it is.
But that one's the last finished Lister for the factory, bought in auction last April. Exciting, it's one of really, in the sense that it's the last one. It's yet to be finished. No interior. Engine's been done, it's been dynoed by Ford Engineering.
Really?
One BC stable at that time then.
Wow.
So yeah, it's an exciting one then. We're going to do the same treatments as this car. It doesn't need as much work,
no.
I'm glad to say, but
that's good.
He's still way off to be finished as well. So
fantastic. That's really, really good. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Simon.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.
Good.